First question comes when we talk of any digital technologies, artificial technologies, and artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence when we are talking. So the very first question comes in our mind is there a future for supply chain management? Means why we are talking a rapid growth, digital growth, AI growth of the supply chain management. But before that, a very basic and fundamental question comes in mind. Why? And why is there any future of supply chain management? So for this, let me read what is written there, then we'll do a discussion as usual, what we do our normal practice. Given today's volatile and disruptive environment, supply chain organizations must become more flexible, and the solution is digitalization. In the next 3 to 5 years, we will see an increase in the adoption of digital supply chain technology as well as technologies that improve human decision making. So we got a connect in this session now that when we are talking of future of supply chain, when we are questioning future of supply chain, at the same time, suddenly the concept of digital solutions in coming up. And the most important reason for that there are many disruptions are predicted. One disruption we all know, electrical vehicle, but there will be good volatility, there will be good disruption because the world will be floating with more of the AI scaling effort, augmented intelligence, machine learning, machine languages, machine interfaces, robot interfaces. So the supply chain cannot be an isolated pool. Supply chain management also have to interface with the digital and AI growth across the globe. That's why supply chain will also have to adopt digital technologies, okay? And which will definitely, one effect will be there. It will be easy to collaborate with the surroundings. It will be easy, it will be more improvement will be coming up for human resource or human decision making. So the meaning is, our conclusion of this statement is yes, there is a future of supply chain management, but considering the future disruptions and volatility, digital supply chain will be the future. When I say digital supply chain, it has many ingredients, which we'll see in next 2 or 3 slides to come. So that is first about a basic question of future of supply chain and how it will be. Second question comes, what is the future of supply chain analytics? By analyzing customer data, supply chain analytics can help a business better predict future demand. It helps an organization decide what products can be minimized when they become less profitable, or understand what customer will be needing after the initial order. Same thing I have expressed in the different format in our previous sessions. The forecast will be generated because we are going to collect real-time data at every pickup point, data pickup points in supply chain. So the customer data will be analyzed, customer's behavior will be analyzed, customer after buying your one-time product, is he coming back for your product, will be analyzed. So this will be giving a drive, a detailed drive on the analytics part. And once more and more analysis is done, more and more validations are done, more and more research is done, you are addressing the volatility and disruption in the environment. And for this, digital tools for analytics will be of great help. It will give a decision. It will give a decision to reduce the productions. You can optimize your production. You can regulate your product range based on the market demand and market customer requirement. Look at this. Just I was telling the point, correct? What will be the supply chain management technologies, future technologies? Okay. One is the Internet of Things, IoT. Second is blockchain. Third is AI, artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence, machine learning analytics, robotics and automation, 3D printing. So these technologies which are existing today will be scaled very high. The Internet of Things, we'll have a separate session on these technologies in much detail, but let's understand the concept right now. The Internet of Things will allow to generate the real-time data at multiple places. You're getting my point? So you will be getting real-time information. A simple example of Internet of Things I can give you, that when you are away from your house, okay, and when you are starting from your office, so you can start your air condition automatically by giving the command from your mobile, okay, and you can start your air conditioner. You can start your washing machine. So this is the very simple examples of Internet of Things. The devices are becoming smart. So the devices are able to listen you on the internet. That's the most important thing. If you think 10 years before, washing machines were not smart devices. But now washing machine, dishwashers, electric cookers, correct? They are becoming smart. Now just bring this analysis, just push this analysis to an example of industry or supply chain specifically. There are different video cameras are available on the highways and motorways. You can acquire their data, or you can acquire the information that fleet of trucks which is passing on that motorway, which belongs to your logistic company, have they passed so far or not, as a feedback system. Now already fleets are loaded with GSM trackers. So that is one of the big advantage to locate where the trucks are there right now, where the fleets are there. So the simple example which I'm trying to do, you can get inside the warehouse, you can monitor the warehouse through your online monitoring. Okay, you can monitor your warehouse by RFID mechanism. You can have the material identification made easy, correct? So these are all, we are talking of something called Internet of Things. Blockchain will be a foolproof system to store the data at multiple places and the security of data. So the information generated by the Internet of Things or any other system will be stored at multiple places securely. And it will ensure that the data in the supply chain networking, supply chain management networking remains robust and reliable. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, analytics. They are something which will be doing the brain work a lot, which will be doing analytics work, analysis, more and more data processings. So data processing, analysis, forecasting, everything will be done. Robotics and automation. Warehouse will be unmanned and it will be taken over by robots. More automation. No need to travel and walk inside the warehouse. From the gate itself, just give a command and the product will come automatically to the doors of warehouse. Couple of medical stores you might have seen nowadays. So medical stores, they just put a command on the screen and automatically that packet of that tablet, particular or that medicine comes in the dispenser. So the mechanism is working inside to bring the right product to the dispenser location. So these are all the examples of automation. And these are all scalable. 3D printing. Probably there are some products which need not to be manufactured at manufacturing premises. And 3D printing is really looking for a great examples or a great commodities to be generated or to be created locally. Just giving an example, okay? Suppose you want to buy a simple sport shoes. You want to buy the furniture. If this can be printed locally, why there should be a transportation or logistics of that product? It can be printed wherever they are required. So the big load on logistics will reduce. So things will not travel unnecessary if they are possible to make locally or possibly able to manufacture locally. So look how the supply chain is following these technologies. At present, and by the way, these technologies will make supply chain to the greater extent, I will not say fully automatic, but yes, to the greater extent, automation will be visible. They are not fully automated, but these technologies are being used today in part. But the time and era will come when all these technologies will be collaborative. They will be collaborating at a greater scale, and they will make the supply chain to a greater extent in automated mode. But today they are being used in parts. What will be the now just a little discussions on the one of the possible future issues, top future issues for the supply chain. Port congestions, manufacturing delays, and extreme weather events. World consumption is increasing, so the logistics will be required more to transport the material from one place to another place. So in that scenario, all these things will have an impact. Individual country GDPs are growing, and accordingly, the buying powers are increasing, correct? And that's why the consumption, world consumption will increase, and that will be directly impacting on the manufacturing and on the port. Emerging trends in logistics and supply chain management. E-commerce, It's one of the widely used things today. Marketplace integration, integration of marketplaces, electronic data interchange, EDI automation, ERP, enterprise resource planning, warehouse management systems, transport management systems. So they are supported by many of the softwares. And we'll see a general list of softwares in coming slide. But the point which I'm trying to make here is that it is really being used nowadays. And by the way, all these are in use. Huh? There's something called future technology. All these are emerging trends. They are being in operations. But only thing is that with respect to time, their scalability will increase more and they will be used more. We will discuss little more into the AI in supply chain management, okay? And it is changing the footprints of supply chain. And how it is, I'm just giving, you can see a picture here, just to give a message that the last mile connectivity or the last mile logistics, correct? Which is from the local storage house or local warehouse to the customer, correct? Looking at traffic congestion, or it's because of both, either warehouse delivering to the customer. Yesterday we saw last mile delivery, or the customer is going to the retail outlet and buying it. So looking at all these aspects, drone deliveries will be one of the great solutions to avoid the delay and the traffic congestion, local city traffic congestion. Drone could be of great help for last mile deliveries. So this was something about the background picture, but let's understand more about the artificial intelligence concept. AI-led supply chain optimization software amplifies important decision by using cognitive predictions and recommendations on optimal actions. This can help enhance overall supply chain performance. It also helps manufacturers with possible implications across various scenarios in terms of time, cost, and revenue. Cognitive predictions and recommendations is one of the feature of AI. But remember one point, you can develop the great analytics, but this great analytics always need high accurate data to do a great job. Okay, so whenever you are going to use the systems, make sure the quality of input data is always as possible as close to realistic. Then you can ensure the results are great. Results what has been developed are giving you the right predictions and recommendations. AI algorithm offer a way to detect demand patterns with much higher accuracy and speed, dynamically simulate the company's whole supply chain. See, this is the word which I was trying to make. Dynamically simulate. Accuracy, processing of information, then dynamically simulate the company's whole supply chain to show any potential disruption and take into account any number of constraints to provide manager with a necessary insight to create an optimal supply chain. There are static simulations and there are dynamic simulations. Dynamic simulations considers the real-time data and it gives an impression, clear-cut impression, what volatility or what disruption is on the way. So that manager can, and with a more deep dive, with that, managers can take a correct decision. It helps manager to take the right decision, in fact. So that's a dynamic simulation is the most important feature. AI in logistics transforming warehouse processes such as collecting and analyzing information and inventory processes, enabling companies to increase efficiency and boost revenue. Warehouse processes. What is the duration of products lying in the inventory? Is it a fast moving item or a slow moving item? What was the trend 2 years before? And what is the last 2 years graph? How the inventories are moving, particular products. This will enable, the meaning is that AI will be even penetrating in the warehouse section. And from there, it is going to fetch you the real-time information. Information is processed, compared, and the comparative statement is produced, or comparative analysis is produced, maybe for last 5 years comparison, or with the forecasting methods also. And of course, this in turn improves the efficiency. There's no doubt about it. And boost revenue is always there. Products, the normal saying is, the products remain as minimum as time in the warehouse shelf. The cash flow moves as fast. That means the stay of a product in the warehouse is inversely proportional with cash flow. If stays more, 1 month, cash flow is delayed by 1 month. So the cash flow is not happening. In warehouse, AI is used to make demand prediction, modify orders, and reroute products in transit. This is a statement is very simple, but let's understand the philosophy of it. The manufacturer has already, the third-party logistics has already shipped, and the product has been given to the regional distribution centers. But the latest demand forecast has come, or the request from retailers have come, and you have to reschedule the quantities from one regional distribution center to another regional distribution center. So automatically AI will advise logistics to reroute the quantities from, in place of regional warehouse or regional storage A to regional storage B. And the command will be executed in the logistics, and accordingly, the shipment will be transferred in place of A to B. So it is not traveling extra miles. The extra miles have been avoided before it really travels. Otherwise, the product has to move after reaching A again to B back. So this is how the demand predictions in real-time mode on day-to-day basis, shift-to-shift basis, hourly to hourly basis helps in dealing with modified order patterns, rerouting the products which are in transit. That fleet of truck was going to region A and they have been diverted to region B. So how much time have been saved? The very common points which are companies are emphasizing on improvising their supply chain by using artificial intelligence. You can say augmented intelligence also. Okay. So by automation, definitely supply chain is bringing automation, accurate predictive analytics and forecasting, enhance supplier relationship management, computer vision in supply chain, improving sustainability and further reading. These are the parameters which are giving an open outlook, visible output, and transparency in the supply chain management. Data are floating and data are available to all concerned, all stakeholders. That's the very important reason that supply chain gets an additional strength by induction of artificial intelligence, which brings all these features in supply chain. You can see the couple of softwares mentioned just for your quick reference. You can also find these details, and if you will be in the field of supply chain and you want to specialize something, it's always better to have the get an expertise in softwares, and it is depends on which software you want to get it. It depends on in which region you are there, what is the most popular. Because remember one point, generally, as I said in the beginning, very first slide we discussed, the supply chain, if says, no, I will not adopt artificial intelligence for next 10 years, there is no artificial intelligence supply chain management. That's not true. There will be great disruption to the supply chain. There will be great volatility because surroundings are adopting that. So you have to adopt. So with the same philosophy, I just give that analogy to explain you one point. Use the softwares which are in general used by your company. So learn them, take their coachings, okay? Learn them better and adopt the softwares which are used in your regions also, correct? So, and select the modules which you want to be specialized in that. So with this understanding, there are great softwares are available for supply chain, and there are available module by module also, correct? Warehouse modules, okay? Logistics modules, so all these things are available. Analytics modules, correct? Inventory modules, cloud computings, real times analysis. So you can find all the softwares and use as you need it. So that was a section where we discussed about the digital technologies in supply chain management in future. Now, we will discuss, as we said that in our second section of our chapter session, we are going to understand the Incoterms and letter of credit, because when you will be in the supply chain field, and I think if you are already there, okay, so you may be aware about all these things, and but if you're not from the supply chain management field and you want to take this as your future, okay, so these are the very basic and essential understandings you must have it, okay. And if you are in supply chain management business, you must know these basic things of Incoterms and letter of credit. So what is this exactly, the Incoterm? We'll see in more details. Definitions of shipping and trade terms published by International Chamber of Commerce to ensure clarity and consistency in international trade agreement. See, when the product is moving from one country to another country, so there is an International Chamber of Commerce, ICC. They have laid down some trade agreements, policies, and clarities, correct? The rules are written. Terms and conditions are written, so that are being followed by buyers and sellers. And these are called Incoterms. And what is a letter of credit? A letter from a bank guaranteeing that a buyer's payment to a seller will be received on time and for the correct amount. So this is actually the goods are moving, and opposite to that, the letter of credit is ensuring the seller that your payment is not going anywhere. So against the letter of credit, he is shipping the product. Correct. We'll see into more details in this coming slide. Incoterm, international commercial terms, basically. It's an abbreviation for that in general, Incoterm. These are international commercial terms, are a series of predefined commercial terms published by the International Chamber of Commerce related to international commercial law. Very simple point. I just want you to focus on the slide for the time being, because the next slide will be slightly giving more outlook on this. Just see the picture. On my left hand side, you can see a seller, okay? And on other side, there is a buyer. And they are connected by they have a gap actually. They are, for time being, consider them that they are in different country. Okay. So when they are in different country, there will be a opportunity available to negotiate the commercial terms and condition under the umbrella of ICC. Okay, because it gives a flexibility that seller says, I will do this, buyer says, I will do this. So there are couple of steps are there, okay, in the global logistics from one country to another country, correct? So in that, seller and buyer gets pre-agreed on the certain terms, commercial terms. And that becomes the part of agreement. That becomes a part of purchase order. Okay. So now the terms, what are these terms? These terms are having a very unique abbreviations. And like you must have heard, FOB, FCA, CFR, DPU, all these are abbreviations for Incoterm, correct? So we will see what they are exactly meaning in the next slide. But these are what you see here, the abbreviations EXW, FCA, FAS, FOB, CFR, DPU, DAP, DDP, all these are those abbreviations of Incoterms. So let's see how they are exactly. Don't worry, I'll read for you and I will explain everything, okay? We will see first, just follow the red dot, okay? So the first red dot is giving an abbreviated Incoterm, which is called X works. Okay, you can see here X works. And it is written as EXW, okay? Short form. But this is Incoterm is X works. I will come back to transfer of risk afterwards, but just we will discuss now in X works how buyer and seller they are dealing with each other. Okay. So now see the obligations, charges or obligations in the blue. First item here is packaging. So under the X works, who does the packaging? The seller does the packaging. And after that, as soon as packaging is done for the finished good, the total activities you can see till the ends are buyer's responsibility. The meaning of this is, I will read, don't worry, I will read the left-hand side after packaging, what are the items are there. But I want to give you a concept here. The meaning here is, if you are a manufacturer and you are residing in a country A, and I am your buyer residing in country B. So the agreement, when we say X works, means you will say our agreement of Incoterm is X works EXW. That means you will manufacture your product and you will do a packaging and you will tell me, look, gentlemen, our terms and conditions are X works. My product is ready with packaging at my location. Come and pick up. Got the point? That means I need to travel to country B, me or my third party logistics, anybody. Okay. So I have to travel to country A, collect the packaged goods. Of course, inspection will be done. What is required, everything will be done, okay, by me or by third party. So once the product is tested, everything is done. Now packet is getting packed. Once the packaging has been done by you, now I have to take that product from your manufacturing premises and I am responsible for everything. Okay, local transportation, sea transportation, all custom clearance, everything, and to bring the product safely to my country, which is country B. So this is called X works. And now I will read the points. Packaging is done by you as a seller A. Now what I will do as a buyer, I will pay loading charges, even the loading charges at your manufacturing premises or your maybe your warehouse near, okay, whatever is there. So from that point, I'm loading in the truck. Delivery to port. After loading on the trucks, containers, I will be doing a local transportation to the port. That is delivery to port, nearby port or the port of country of origin, okay. Then on the port, I will do what? I will do export duty and taxes. Buyer, as a buyer, I am paying it. I will be paying original terminal charges. Okay. Then I will be paying loading on charges. Loading on the ship. Carriage charges, the carriage. Insurance, just a minute, hold, then I'll come back to insurance. Then once the consignment reaches to the country B, okay, country of destination country, there also there will be terminal charges. There will be delivery to destination. At destination, terminal charges, as well as if there is a custom duty on import, that also you have to pay as a buyer. Then from their port, pay custom duty, pay terminal charges, take the product and travel to your location deep inside your country somewhere, 1,000 kilometers, 500 kilometers away, and unloading at destination. So all these responsibilities belongs to buyer. The thing which is negotiable in this term is insurance. So what happens actually? This is negotiated. And why it is negotiated? Because it has a free hand that because the product is just moving. So whether seller can do it or the buyer can pay for that. See, nothing comes free, by the way. If the seller is going to take an insurance, okay, so in that scenario also, the charges will be loaded by the seller. And if the buyer is paying, nothing loading, only the whole thing is loaded on him because he's buying. So that is the negotiable conditions for insurance. Now, let me express it one by one so that this will remain with you as a great understanding always. Next comes FCA, free carrier. Okay. Now, okay, what is the transfer of risk for 2 minutes? Just forget. I'll complete this, then I'll come to transfer of risk at the end. So in FCA free carrier, you are seeing the seller is what? He is packaging, he's doing loading also, he's delivering to port also, and he's paying export duty also. But the buyer is paying terminal charges of country A, country of origin, loading charges, and from there on, the buyer takes care. Okay, so this is how the things are dealt in case of FCA, free carrier. Insurance is also negotiable in this case also. Next Incoterm is FAS, free alongside ship. Okay. Now see here, you are a seller. Okay. Your responsibility is up to original terminal charges. Even you are paying the terminal charges also now. Correct? So the buyer's responsibility is that I have paid the terminal charges now. Buyers has been told that, see, export duty has been paid, terminal charges have been paid. Now you load the material to your carrier and take away. That is called the FCA and FAS. Okay. Very crystal clear picture. FOB, free on board. You must have heard this FOB. This is one of the very acceptable or more used Incoterms. Definitely, the X works is also one of the famous Incoterm. Similarly, FOB, the fourth one, the first one and fourth one. Correct. Of course, they all are being used. It's not that nothing is, but in general, they are more used in the industry. Free on board. Now see the seller responsibility. He is telling that, seller, you are paying up to loading. That means the buyer has booked the ship, so he will be paying the ship charges, or the vessel charges, or container ship, basically container charges, or vessel logistics, and the seller will put the material in the buyer's hired container. So that is called freight on board. Next is CFR, cost and freight. Okay. CFR, cost and freight. In this case, what is extra? In this case, the seller is even paying the carrier charges also. So that means buyer need not to do anything in the country of origin. Okay. The seller, the manufacturer, okay, or the seller is putting your luggage, your product in the ship. So once it comes to your country, you start your activities. Of course, insurance is negotiable. Now, one more term, which is also very famous, CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. It is same as CFR, cost and freight, but only one thing is added, that insurance is also paid by seller. Most clear-cut picture, no negotiation. When you say CIF, it is paid by seller. That's why it is CIF. But the destination point is same. Means the carriage charges are paid by seller. Even insurance part charges are paid by seller. Okay. Then at the country of destination, the buyer takes over the product. Next is carriage paid to, CPT. Here, the thing is, even the seller is paying destination terminal charges. insurance is negotiable. But from there, from once the terminal is clear, terminal charges are paid, buyer has to take over the product and he has to do inland transportation and unloading at his premises. Next is CIP. And what is that CIP, by the way? Carriage insurance paid to. So in this case also, it is same like CPT, but it is clear-cut definition of insurance. Seller will pay. But the activities remains the same. That means the seller will do activities up to destination terminal. He will pay for that. Of course, seller also has a third party. Remember, in the era of this third party and fourth party logistics, if buyer is not hiring them, seller will hire them, but seller will not do that job. Okay. So third party and fourth party logistics exist. It represents sometimes seller, it represents sometimes buyer. DAP, delivery at place. Okay. So the delivery and at place. In this case, you will see the activities which are being done is up to delivery to destination. Okay. So when we say delivery to destination, that is the responsibility of seller and insurance is negotiated. I'm talking of DAP. Okay. Unloading charges and import duties is paid by the buyer only. Delivery at place, DPU. In this case, what is the difference? Even unloading is done by the seller. So buyer, what he do? He only pays the import duty and taxes. That's all. Then DDP. This is also one of the prominently used term. Okay. So the buyer says, I'm not moving out of my premises. Okay. Okay. So he just pays when the material reaches to the premises of buyer in the country B, he just pay unloading charges at destination. Seller pays everything, even the he feel the import duty also. So this is something an interesting things regarding the Incoterms which are used in the global logistics very prominently, and what are the significance of them you must have understood by this time. One of the, just to understand the concept, essential documents for shipping. We'll have a, I know this is a very interesting topic to understand from the logistics point of view, global point of view. So, pro forma invoice. Pro forma invoice is a preliminary bill of sale sent to buyer in advance of shipment or delivery of goods. Custom authorization require this document to compare with the actual commercial invoice to the check if the terms of trade such as content, price, and quantity are matching. So this is a pro forma invoice, okay? It's a preliminary bill of sale. It is not the, okay, let me read it next so then we'll compare that. Second is called commercial invoice. And this is the official proof of sale. A commercial invoice includes the complete detail of the sales transaction between vendor and buyer, including the shipping terms. Shipping term means same Incoterms, DDP, FOB, X works. While an invoice is a commercial instrument that states the total amount due, the pro forma invoice is a declaration by seller to provide products and services on a specified date and time. Pro forma invoice is a kind of agreement, okay? We'll provide you this product at this time, okay, and this services, okay? But commercial invoice means official proof sale is happening, is now happening. Packaging list is very important. Packaging list is very important because custom checks, everywhere checking is done. Inspections are done with the help of packaging list, correct? Custom clearances are done with the help of packaging list. So packaging list is also essential. What is a product? What are their data sheets, safety data sheets? Because when they are transporting, are they hazardous or not? Correct. So they are called MSDS, material safety data sheets, their weight, their name, their part numbers, everything, complete packaging list. Bill of lading. A bill of lading is the official contract between the shipper or owner of the goods and the freight carrier. Now understand the concept. Bill of lading is an official contract between owner of the goods and the freight carrier. So when you are hiring the third party or fourth party, correct? Logistics. At that time, you are getting into an agreement with them, and that is called bill of lading. BOL. It is a document used to confirm receipt of goods for shipment and can only be signed by an authorized representative of carrier upon receipt in order for the shipment to be released. A BOL will include detailed information of the shipping destination, the goods included, and how they should be handled. Because shipper or third-party logistic fellows, fourth-party logistic fellows, they are not really aware about the details. They need to be educated. So for that, country of the destination country, what the goods are there, how they need to be handled. If it is a glass, how it need to be handled. If it is a chemical, how it need to be handled. Correct? A non-negotiable BOL must be signed by the parties listed, while a negotiable BOL can be transferred to a specified third party. A BOL is the most important shipping document in international shipping and must be included no matter the form of transportation. It is important to fully understand all the detailed information to be included to assure shipments are legally received. See, you are giving an authorization to a third party who are logistic carriers, supply chain carriers, to transport your products from one manufacturing country to the destination country B. So you are giving him complete authorization. In the lack of authorization, the custom clearance at the original port or at the destination ports, terminal clearances may be difficult, and the material may be keep lying at the destination country port for months together, and it happens. Unclear documents lead to this. That's why bill of lading should be so crystal clear that, and as per the country of origin norms, so that the material do not stuck legally. Certificate of analysis or certificate of inspection. Most of the time, buyer wants to be assured that purchased goods meet the necessary standards. The seller provides the certificate himself or via inspection to satisfy their customer. See, there are more steps are taken in this regard. The material which you order, is the same material is coming or not, or in that box other goods are there. How to check? That's why the buyer requests the seller that not request, it's a requirement that I need an inspection certificate for this. So the seller says, I have my inspection team in my company, and they will inspect and will provide you inspection report. But buyer says no. In addition to that, I need a certificate from third party. So buyer says no problem, I'll provide you that. But the TPI charge, third party inspection charges will be there. So the seller agrees, a buyer agrees on that to bear the cost of third party inspection. Sometimes that is hired by, on the request of buyer, seller hires it, or in majority of the cases nowadays, buyer sends his third party to the manufacturing premises directly with pre-alignment with the buyer and seller, that buyer is telling seller that I am going to witness the product, and on behalf of me, I'm not coming, on behalf of me, my third party agency will inspect it. Okay. So give me your inspection schedule. Accordingly, I will depute my third party. So that is, and then they issue a certificate of inspection. That means product is made as per the agreement. Insurance certificate, very important document. Without that, it covers the liability. Goods movement will not start without insurance certificate, as we know. Certificate of origin. Certificate of origin is a document declares the country of origin for manufactured goods, usually certificate by the consulate or chamber of commerce. It is required by many treaty agreements for international trade to assure the goods are eligible for exports. There are countries who have a treaty that this product can move from this country to this country, but there are some restricted products. So that's why the certificate to be issued, certificate of origin should be issued by Chamber of Commerce of the specific country. Okay. It is a part of free trade agreement or with custom duties. So that is all. Certificate of origin is essential in that scenario. Export license. This is an official document issued by government. The document serves as a license to ship certain items and in certain quantities. Some countries only need this document under specific condition, while for other it can be a requirement. Export. Suppose there is a particular item which your country needs it, but still you are exporting it, correct? So there is an export restriction. So that's why the export license need to be taken so that you can do an export of that product. We'll just have a look on letter of credit, and we'll understand this in more details now. A letter of credit is a payment term typically used for a long distance and commercial transaction, and is a key instrument used by importer, exporter, and banks in trade finance. A letter of credit is essentially a document from a bank guaranteeing that a buyer's payment to a seller will be received on time for the correct amount and in the correct currency. In the event that buyer is unable to make a payment on the purchase, the bank will require to cover the full or remaining amount of the purchase. Correct. A letter of credit is a contractual commitment by the foreign buyer's bank to pay once the exporter ships the goods and present the required document to the exporter bank as approved. As a trade finance tool, letter of credits are designed, okay, to protect both exporter and importer. So basically, let me just let me give more clarity on this slide. That importer and exporter, correct? They get into the sales agreement, okay? But once they enter into a sales agreement, okay, if you see here, the item number 1 is the sales agreement is done, okay? Now, after this, what happens? The importer and a buyer, he sends a request for credit to the importer bank that, okay, issue a letter of credit. Importer bank sends the letter of credit to the exporter's bank. And the exporter bank in the country of, okay, country of exporter, okay. That exporter bank sends the letter of credit to exporter directly. Once he sees that Okay, letter of credit has come already, correct? Then shipment of goods starts as per the Incoterms. Okay, item number 5. There are two things starts at the same time. Shipment of goods starts and the documents are submitted, serial number 6, to the exporter bank by the exporter. These documents exporter bank transfer as item number 7 to the importer bank. Importer bank transfer those documents to importer as a serial number 8. Importer, when sees all those documents, that document, material list, packaging list, correct? All documents which are required, which demonstrate that product has been shipped. Shipment started, correct? By serial number 5. After seeing that, the importer says, makes the payment to the importer bank. Instruction, importer bank physically, not physically, means now the money is moving. Before letter of credit was moving. Now payment is transferred from importer bank to exporter bank. And then exporter bank transfer that money to the exporter. This is a very simple cycle of letter of credit concept. With this, we will conclude our session 5 of supply chain management. And by this time, you must have developed a deep understanding and the basic backdrops of all the global scenarios of logistics and what will be the future of supply chain management. So with this, we conclude our session 5. Thank you very much.